Hey everyone, welcome to Horrible Gaming. My name is Nora, and on today's video we are touring my finished forest of Valor. As we get started, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that like, subscribe, and notify button if you want to see more content like this in the future. It really does help me out. So the overall theme for my forest of Valor is almost like a princess enchanting sort of look. I do have some Cottagecore elements, but I really wanted a ton of glowy elements through the forest, just like you're transported basically into a fairy tale. The first build in my forest is my fairy bloss home, and this is honestly my top favorite skin in Disney Dreamlight Valley right now. I just think it is so well done. Since I'm going for a cottagecore like theme in this biome, I obviously did a really natural path leading up to the home itself. I also broke up some of my pathing with these rock clusters that lead up to the Beauty and the Beast greenhouse. I just thought the greenhouse looked really nice with this home skin, and of course it just added some extra illumination to the build. And next to my fairy bloss home, I actually ended up placing Merlin over here. This actually wasn't like my dream build for his house, but I was running out of space and I wanted him to somehow fit into this biome because his house really suits the theme that I'm going for. So right next to the fairy blossom, I ended up moving the Beauty and the Beast greenhouse over here. I just thought it matched the color palette of this home so well. Plus it added a nice fairy core like touch to the build. And then I decorated the pathway using the dropped flowers that you get from doing a quest with Rapunzel. For the transition in front of my fairy bloss home in Merlin's, I honestly just went for something really natural and simple. I didn't want the transitional areas in front of these homes to be distracting and take away from the build, so sometimes going a little bit more simple is a better option than going full decorated. Right by Merlin's, I did a simple rock pathway that leads up to one of the mining nodes. I really wanted to make sure every node was easy to access throughout my biome because obviously I still need to be able to harvest and get resources. One of my next favorite builds in my forest is definitely my Rapunzel build. I just really loved how this entire location turned out. I did document this build and everything that you're seeing in my forest on a speed build, but I just really loved how this build had almost like a soft painting sort of look to it. That was kind of like the original idea that I had for this build, and I really wanted to have like this natural curved pathway leading up to her tower, and I really wanted to use these lanterns that you get from using your hourglass. So these just lining the pathway I think really captured Rapunzel's style and vibe. So the next location of my forest I ended up doing off camera, and I ended up putting Fairy Godmother over here. Many of my viewers requested Fairy Godmother to be placed in our new forest layout, which actually wasn't originally planned. So originally I had like this little cul-de-sac area kind of mapped out in front of my Frozen Heights incline, and I thought placing her home inside of that would be a little bit different than what you've normally seen for her home, and just a different approach to it in general. I do have a couple of spots near the Frozen Heights incline that I need to detail a little bit more with some bushes, but other than that, this location is pretty much done, and I left some areas a little bit more empty too, so my natural resources can also spawn over here. So the last location in my forest is this cottage neighborhood area, and I took actually some inspiration for this from my Animal Crossing builds. I just thought having like this cul-de-sac with cottage homes framing it would be such a fun way to transition from this bridge, and just a different way to use this location in general. Many people do the Beauty and the Beast castle over here, or even a farm-like build. I just thought that this was a little bit different from what you would normally see in the forest. And behind the cottages, I just kept a really simple rock pathway. I also left some empty spaces so natural resources could spawn over here. Another thing that I added behind the cottages too was Wally's garden. I just thought this was such a great place for it and kind of just got it out of the way. And it also served as a good filler too, because the top left of this biome was such an awkward space, so this fit perfectly in that location too. Anyways, now that my forest is completely finished, it's time to delete and move on to some fresh new ideas for the upcoming season. I think my next theme for my forest is going to be a spring core like style with some farm core elements. So over the next few days, definitely stay tuned for those new builds and the new spring core content coming to my Disney Dreamlight Valley content as well. As for all the other structures in this biome, I'm going to do some new ideas with them. I'm probably going to move Rapunzel over to the DLC. I also really want to find a new build and a new new location for the fairy blossom because that is one of my must-have buildings and I really want to do something for it and also decorate its interior too. Anyways, I hope that today's tour brought you some Disney Dreamlight Valley inspiration. Before today's video also ends, I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my channel members. Thank you so much for supporting me as a creator. Just your support in general means the world to me. Thank you so much for watching and have a horrible day. I'll see you next video.